We're still in our World War II series, and yes, we're still ditching the 19 part of our date. So today's date is May 1945, Victory in Europe Day, and the end of the European conflict. VE Day, as it is known, celebrates the formal acceptance of Germany's unconditional surrender on May the 8th. Russians celebrated on the 9th of May. Since Yalta, the Western Front had moved to the Rhine, and the Ruhr was being occupied by Allied forces. By mid-April, Soviet forces had surrounded Berlin. Seeing that all was lost, a near total collapse of the German military occurred. For example, the Ruhr pocket surrendered with 300,000 personnel being taken prisoner. After Mussolini and Hitler died in late April, Karl Donitz became head of the German government. He set up what was called the Flensburg government and signed the German Instrument of Surrender on the 7th of May, which would come into effect on the 8th. On the 8th, William Keitel signed the final surrender terms and the war in Europe was done. The news prompted celebrations to erupt all over Europe. Churchill and Truman, who was now US president, gave victory speeches, but also emphasized that Japan had yet to surrender and the wider war was not yet won. The division of Germany would not happen until August, and for now the Allied forces asserted their joint authority over the country in the 1945 Berlin Declaration in June. In the coming months, Germany would cede territory back to the nations it had conquered or annexed during the war. The war was not over completely. The Second Sino-Japanese War was still being fought, and the Pacific War still raged. In Europe, hostilities had ended though, and a long war was now over. It is estimated 60 million people were dead. 17 million civilians had died as a direct result of the racist policies of Germany. The horror inflicted on Europe during this conflict was like nothing humanity had ever seen before. What remained of the leadership of the regime fled or were captured to be put on trial for war crimes. The war in Europe would give way to the Cold War, the Iron Curtain, and the threat of nuclear war. However, for a time, the elation at the end of one of humanity's bloodiest conflicts was incredible. After nearly 6 years of war, peace finally reigned. To remember this date, let's take this picture of the royal family and Churchill on the balcony at Buckingham Palace. Each person on the balcony then holds up a sign with the following letters or numbers. Princess Elizabeth, future Queen of England, holds up the V, and the Queen Mother holds up the E. Churchill holds up the 5, and then the King and Princess Margaret hold up the 4 and 5. Churchill then goes to Whitehall to address the crowd, where a bunch of them are also holding number cards for VE Day, in the shapes of the numbers. May 1945, or 545, Victory in Europe Day. Thanks for watching.